Black people, how you doing? You're having a great day. I normally wouldn't go live again today, but today I just thought there was so much interesting stuff to talk about. And you know me, I can't help but to talk about it, and I try to be about it, not just talk about it. But even as I talk about it and want to be about it, there's an issue of trying to talk about it intelligently and not be stupid or crazy in the process, and to be honest about it. Angie Tweet 12 says, "Hello, Boyce. How you doing, Angie Tweet? You are awesome and wonderful and amazing and appreciate it. So thank you so much." I see a sister says, "Afternoon." Iman says, "What's up?" VJ looks like VL Queen. I kept saying VJ Queen. VL Queen. I saw you earlier today. That's good. You must be a fan. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I was I'll tell you what was on my mind today. I was thinking about poor Donna Brazile over at CNN. I don't know if y'all heard that Donna just got she turned in her resignation at CNN. Let's just say that. I don't know if y'all saw how it all went down, but basically CNN just told her, thank you, but no thank you. And the thing is, it wasn't a voluntary departure. It did not appear to be a voluntary departure. They put out a press release that really, all but threw her under the bus. Does she deserve it? I'll let you decide on that. But I will say that, her association with those, with that corruption, that deep, ugly, super ugly, deep corruption within the Democratic Party was just not a good look. It wasn't a good look for the DNC. At some point, I'm wondering, at what point do criminal charges get filed, right? WikiLeaks is revealing all this information. There's all these emails, all this corruption, where they are clearly violating American liberties. They're violating the Constitution left and right. I'm sure somewhere there's got to be something in the Constitution about doing what the fuck the people want you to do. And they're just literally saying we have no respect for the people at all. We literally just are like, well, we're going to do what we want to do, and we're going to play with their minds. And we already know that they were already screwing over black people. We already know the bias is there when it comes to us. Y'all gets no respect from the Democrats. And it's because y'all don't want respect. Y'all don't try to earn it. Y'all don't ask for it. Y'all don't demand it. But, they do this to other white people too. They rob their own people. They rob people in their own party. They rob other liberals. And it's crazy to me. It was already disturbing enough when it was revealed that the Democratic National Committee pretty much didn't want Bernie Sanders to even be a contender. They were like, no, we want him out of here. Let's make stuff up. Let's do whatever we're going to do. Now, Angie tweeted saying, did Roland slip Donna the debate question? You asking some good questions, Angie tweets. Roland and I don't talk no more. I got his number on my phone, but I bet if I text him, he won't text me back. But I bet you he's probably wondering. He's probably a little nervous right now. I bet you he's sweating. He's sweating. I'd love to hear what Roland got to say about that, because that's a legitimate question. Now y'all know why I don't get involved in that shit. I don't want to be involved in no politics. I don't want to be involved with those networks. I'll go on the networks every now and then. I've been invited to CNN hundreds of times. I've been on all the networks a lot. And when they invite me, I don't usually say no unless I have something to do, unless I just don't feel like being bothered that day. But I'll tell you what. It's funny. It really just drills deep to this fact that we are just way too loyal to these white folks who ain't doing nothing for us. And also, you can't talk about any of this. Angie Tweet, you made a good point, right? I didn't think about Roland. It just hit me. You literally inspired this thought within me. And I'm going to Google that. I'm literally going to look this up, because I didn't know Roland's name had been mentioned. But really, it kind of it speaks to, just this sort of undying loyalty that where you have certain black people, among the elite, who are overly loyal to the Democratic Party at their community's expense and at their own expense. Because I bet you that if it got to the point where somebody is going to go to jail, y'all know how that ends. Y'all know how that shit goes. It's going to be the nigga going to jail. Ain't none of these white folks going to jail. Hillary ain't going to. Hillary has broken the law many times, and it's been proven, and she ain't going to jail. But they'll send your black ass up the river in a minute. They sent Jesse Jackson's son to prison. You don't think that the Democrats could have kept Jesse Jackson's son out of prison? I mean, really? Seriously? I mean, we know Jesse Jackson's son wasn't perfect. We know he did some stuff he wasn't supposed to do. But guess what? Here's a news flash. They all do that shit. They all are crooked. They all are breaking the law on some level. They're all playing this fuzzy game. WikiLeaks is revealing email after email to show you how they're breaking the law left and right, and it's no big deal. So when you see one person go to jail and nobody else go to jail, what you're probably seeing is a fall guy. Or the fall guy might actually be a girl, maybe a woman, right? But you're seeing somebody who is positioned as the fall guy, where basically they say, look, if we fire this person or send this person to prison, put them up on charges, then that will look like none of us knew what was going on, and that we got the bad apple out of the bunch, and that the rest of the bunch is healthy, when the fact is that you and a whole goddamn fucking pile of rotten ass apples. Your whole bunch is sour and nasty and polluted and disgusting, and that's your damn problem, but you don't want to deal with it. No matter how many corruption scandals get unveiled, they go right back to the original blueprint that led to the original corruption in the first place. They just literally are like, okay, we're going to pivot and repeat, pivot and repeat, pivot and repeat. No, you need all of that just to disappear. You need it to just be gone. When I look at this election right now, which is to me, it's one of the most embarrassing presidential elections in recent American history. We are being embarrassed on the global stage. We are looking like criminals. Not us, not me and you, because me and you ain't got nothing to do with this. You ain't got no power in none of this, and neither do I. I can't control what these people are doing. But we are literally, as a nation, looking like a bunch of crooks, cowards, scoundrels, and everything else. Not to mention bigots. What I see right now is and I wrote about this on financialjuneteenth.com. If you want to go read my article, just go to financialjuneteenth.com, look up Donna Brazile. You can find my article on Donna. What I really see is I see a Republican Party that just looks stupid and incompetent. They just look like a bunch of idiots. They just look like, like they can't figure out how to put forth a decent candidate. They're just bombing the entire election and handing it over to the Democrats. Now, what's ironic, what's really interesting, though, is that I saw a story where there's a professor who has predicted the last 8 or something presidential elections. And was it last 8? Maybe something like that. And he keeps predicting Trump's going to win. But he said that the margin's very, 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 very thin right now because of Trump's fiascos. But it'll be interesting if he's right. I'll tell you what, that would actually surprise the heck out of me. But what I'll tell you is that, we have one party that's just flat out incompetent. The other party that's just corrupt. I mean, they're just criminals. They're crooks. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I just hate, and I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to tell you about Donna Brazile, what I know about Donna Brazile. I don't know Donna personally. I've never met her personally. I know people that know her very, very well. I have always, if you said Donna Brazile's name, what word comes to mind when you hear the name Donna Brazile? The first word that would come to mind is integrity. Donna is known amongst many people for being a good person and a person of high integrity. And I don't think that has changed really, because I think you can be a person of high integrity and still break the rules, right? Or even break the law. Martin Luther King is a perfect example. He broke laws, he broke rules, he did all kinds of stuff because his value systems were not consistent with the rules at that time. So perhaps in Donna's spirit, she felt that by helping Hillary, if she did pass on the email kind of reveals a lot, but I'm gonna let y'all just make your decision on that. But given that appears to be the case, my argument would be that that maybe she did it because she felt that lying for Hillary was the right thing to do, or breaking the rules for Hillary was the right thing to do. But I'll tell you what, somebody's asking, how does leaking the debate questions reveal integrity? It certainly doesn't reveal political integrity. It doesn't reveal. You see, the thing is, I honestly believe that sometimes what we define to be integrity can be relative, right? For example, I'll give you an example, and I'm not defending Donna on this at all. I'm just trying to think out loud. Look, I've seen situations, for example, where you had maybe a cop who was a good cop, who knew that a guy was molesting children. He knew that this guy was a child molester. But they knew that maybe because there wasn't the evidence wasn't there because of some technicality, this child molester has been set free and they're going to go molest other children. So, this cop might show up at the molester's house and beat his ass. Now, is that the legal thing to do? Absolutely not. Is it the ethical thing to do? Well, I mean, some might say that it is. I personally am a fan of the idea of protecting children, even if you're breaking the law in the process. Or imagine if your child was being harmed by, your ex-wife's new boyfriend or something like that. I would break the law to go protect my child in that situation. I wouldn't care what the law told me to do. But some people think legality is the same as morality. And I don't believe that is always the case. But with that being said, I think with this situation with Donna, I think there are a few things that we can kind of observe and kind of learn from this, besides just the obvious truth, which is that, this is what happens when you're out there working for the white folks. I mean, they will chew you up and spit you out in a minute. I started thinking when I was writing the article, and again, it's in my article on Financial Juneteenth if you want to go read it. I started thinking about people I know, friends I have, who all got those jobs with those TV networks, and they pay really well. I remember talking to one guy who told me I think they were paying him $500 or $600 every time he went on the air, even if he was on the air for 5 minutes. So imagine getting paid $500 to be on the air for 5 minutes, and you're on the air 3 times in a day. I mean, that's not bad. That's pretty good. That's easy money, right? And so, and I mean, Fox News is the best. Fox News, they got all the money, so they pick you up in limos, and you even in the green room. I was on Fox a long time ago. I quit going on Fox way back in the day. I just said I'm not going on Fox. Y'all too racist. Y'all some assholes. But I remember going on Fox, and I remember being in the green room, and even the damn green room had like the best food. And I was like, man, these people have money. Like they picked me up, and they flew me in, picked me up in a limo, brought me to the green room. The studio's all lavish. And that's what happens. Negros, y'all get excited about shiny shit. We all do. That's what we do. We get excited because white people got shiny shit. And we want to be around the shiny shit because it makes you feel better about yourself. And so I was feeling myself. I was like, this is nice. Wow, I've made it, Mom. Look at me, Mom. I've made it. And, and it takes time to kind of get over that. I mean, eventually you got to understand what that comes with. It comes with a slave package. It comes with a slave package that says, boy, you better not get out of line. If you get out of line, we're going to punish you. And so when I thought about, just what's happened to some of my friends that have gone to work at some of these networks, I think about Mark Lamont Hill, and I remember when Mark got fired by Fox. They didn't even tell Mark that he was fired. Rupert Murdoch fired Mark at a board meeting, and the media is calling Mark, and they're like, hey, so Mark, how do you feel about being fired by Fox? Mark was like, what are you talking about? and they fired him. And the thing is, it'd be different if Mark had gotten fired. Now y'all know I disagree with Mark on some stuff, but on this situation, I thought he was done wrong. I mean, it'd be one thing if they fired him because Mark didn't come to work. Mark showed up drunk. Mark punched a coworker in the face. I don't know. He stole too many paper clips. That's one thing if he really does something wrong. But they fired him because some racist Fox viewer, which a lot of them are racist. They're a bunch of ridiculous people, most of them. He went on Mark's page and saw that Mark had said something in support of Assata Shakur, right? And so what happened was they reported it in all the conservative outlets, and next thing you know, Mark was being attacked. Like they were literally like it went viral. Like they were just, the whole right wing was like going after him. So they went after Rupert Murdoch at a board meeting. Rupert was like, Mark Lamont Hill is no longer employed by Fox News. Now Mark is doing well. He's making money. Now somebody said, Angie Tweets I think said that he's doing VH1 Love and Hip Hop reunions. Okay. All right. Okay. I ain't no comment. I say enough about Mark, and I don't want to make it into another beef. Me and Mark battle all the time because we don't see eye to eye on that stuff. I personally think the Love and Hip Hop show literally is a virus to society. It's so sad, but it's a reflection of what white people have done to you. White people have turned you into, these minstrel show addicts. These people that love to put on the show, and we love to watch the show. And we I got young people. I hear young people sometimes using Love and Hip Hop as an example of how to handle a relationship. And I'm like, are you fucking crazy? Are you serious? I mean, do you understand how much toxicity there is in those situations that are revealed to you on television? I mean, really? So anyway, so I don't know. I'm not going to say nothing about Mark's gig with VH1. I'm happy for him. Good for him. You won't see me doing that stuff. I'll just say that. But then again, you pay the bills. However, so anyway, long story short, I thought what they did to Mark was wrong. But it's a reminder of just what kind of happens. Like when you are favored by white supremacist institutions, you will be rewarded for adequate assimilation. You'll be rewarded for being a fit for whatever their model is. Look, they're like, look, if we need Negroes to speak a certain language or to connect to some Negro issue or to be a Negro representative, then there's always a space for a very small number of elite black people. There ain't enough space for all of y'all. The masses can't get in there. So that's why there's so many intelligent black people out there who will never get on television because you're not a rapper, you're not an athlete, you're not singing, dancing, you're not a thug, you're not a basketball, football player, whatever. So because you're not, committed to coonery, then you're not, or even a comedian. If you're a comedian and you're black, you can get on TV too. White people like that stuff. They like it when we make them laugh. But when you're a serious black person who's intelligent, you're probably not going to get selected, which is why black people have to we have to create our own platforms, our own spaces. Like what you're viewing right now, which is why I always ask you guys to share and subscribe to something. Please subscribe to something. You're seeing my effort to get away from that shit. Back when, and the thing is, what happened to Mark happened to me. I was on CNN. And I got into a battle with Bill O'Reilly because y'all know what Bill O'Reilly represents. He's a racist. He's an idiot. He's an asshole. And I went after him because he said something about Michelle Obama that was highly inappropriate. And you can Google it. I'm not going to go into the story. And next thing I know, CNN banned me. CNN just blackballed me. I'm gone. Zoop. I had already told Fox I'm never coming back. So think about this. You got two gangs you can affiliate with, the Crips and the Bloods, Fox or CNN. And then there's MSNBC, but I didn't have a relationship with them. I told Fox, no, thank you. So that already killed. Before I knew how racist Fox was, I used to go on Fox like twice a week. But until I started realizing what they were doing, because they didn't get super racist, it seemed, until really when Obama was getting elected. That's when they kind of went crazy. But even before then, they were racist. I just didn't pick up on it yet. But then, so I told Fox I wasn't coming on anymore, and then CNN pretty much abandoned me because it was getting too rough between CNN and Fox. Like the war was getting too heated. Bill O'Reilly was going after CNN and attacking Syracuse University where I was teaching at the time. So literally all the institutions I was affiliated with were leaving me out there. Like even my university was making unprecedented statements, distancing themselves from the things that I said about race. Now, you can go back and read everything I wrote. I stand by every word that I uttered. And also on Fox, they didn't really, this is the thing, they don't play fair. They don't attack you fairly. What they do is they attack dirty. But that's the way the world is. And I'm not feeling bad about it. Don't think I'm upset about it. I'm not upset. That's life. And that's what I want black people to understand is that in life, the world's competitive. They're going to play dirty with your ass. They're going to stomp you, kick you in the balls. They're going to do whatever they can to stop you from rising up. So you need to be ready to fight back. And sometimes you got to fight back dirty or whatever you got to do. I encourage you to be ethical, and I believe you can win ethically. But at the same time, you're in a dirty game. So when I look back on this, I reflect on this as in terms of learning strategy. Not as, oh man, them white folks did me wrong, man. Let me tell you what the white folks did to me. I'm not that guy. You're not going to hear me sitting around mad because white people did something to me. White people ain't doing shit to me. In fact, I do not remember the last time I had a business meeting with a white guy. Wait, scratch that. I had one last week, and it was the first one I had in months. And when I talked to him, it was him trying to get me to hire him. There's a different dynamic there. White people are easier to deal with when they're begging you for the job instead of you begging them for the job. And so here's the thing. Look, and it's no disrespect to white people. If you're white and you're listening, you're welcome. Don't think, because sometimes I get animated. I'd go into what appears to be angry black man mode. White people get scared. They think they're not welcome. You're welcome. See, that's the thing. When we start feeling good about ourselves and we're confident in who we are, we're not scared of you no more. We don't hate you no more. I'm not really mad at you. Now, you owe us stuff. You do. I mean, reparations are real. Y'all need to pay up. So we're going to talk about that. But I don't sort of walk and shiver, when a white man walks by, or sort of feel somehow that he controls my life. And I didn't really get to that point until I learned how to kind of get away and develop my own space, right? So anyway, so when I see what happened with Donna, by the way, please share this and subscribe and all this stuff real quick while you can, so that other people can see this. Because I want to have these real conversations. This ain't going to be a conversation you're going to see on CNN. You won't have conversations like this on any major network. You won't see it on TV One. You won't see even TV One. Love TV One, but you won't see it there, because the fact of the matter is that corporate media has certain things they simply cannot do. Certain conversations they simply cannot entertain. I want us to go and to develop power in the free space. Think about it like you're living in a crowded city and you're fighting for space, fighting for land, and all the real estate's super expensive, and there's there's 10 million people in a 20 square mile radius, so it's really congested. But then there's like some wide open farmland, or maybe some wide open swampland, and nobody goes settle that land because they don't think you can actually survive in that land, or in the forest or whatever. They feel like you can't grow crops out there, you can't really survive out there. What I'm saying to you is, let's go to that open land and let's see if we can build something over there that's worth having. But to do that, to go settle that land, you need to learn how to build. You can't be a beggar, you can't be a borrower, you can't attach yourself to somebody else's train. That's with me anymore. So I don't be people asking for their permission. So what effectively happened was, I just said, well, I guess I'm gonna start with what I got. Now, when I first started, I didn't have much of anything, but as I kept working on it and kept building, kept reinvesting my money, kept pushing, somebody says, Angie Tweet says, yes, you have an empire now. Well, I'm not gonna brag and call it an empire, but it's my shit and I'm proud of it. I know that I built this brick by brick. I know I paid for this dollar for dollar. I know that I don't have a boss. I could literally cuss you out in Chinese and not have to ask anybody else if it was okay for me to say that. My only boss really is you. The people that support me, and that's why I'm loyal to you. Now, mind you, see, you still got to kiss ass no matter what level you're on, no matter what you're doing or wherever you're at. You're kissing somebody's ass. So, in my opinion, I'd rather kiss the asses of the people and have complete loyalty and pledge allegiance to the people than to go kiss the ass of a white man who's giving me access to the people. And that's what you got to understand. You don't want to live in a world where white people control black people's ability to talk to other black people, because there's too many things that black and white people don't agree on. So what's going to happen is, whenever there's a conflict of interest or conflict of values or some sort of moral or ethical dilemma, their worldview is going to dominate your worldview because you are in their house. If there's a white man working for me and he's in my house and he's using my platform and we disagree, we bump heads, guess who's going to win? Guess whose opinion is going to actually be most relevant in that particular conversation? It ain't going to be his, because you're in my house. So what I want black people to really think carefully about, just entertain me on this concept. You got to commit yourself to at least teaching your kids about the value of building your own house. And as a community, we got to commit to building our own houses. Let me keep going down. Let me keep talking about this Donna Brazile thing. All right, so getting back to the original issue, the thing that we were talking about, before. And I want to tell you, I want to make sure I recite the URL so you know where to go afterward. I hope that you'll be a part of what we're doing in terms of learning. We are starting the Black Wealth Bootcamp soon on November 5th. You can sign up at theBlackWealthBootcamp.com. That's theBlackWealthBootcamp.com. You can get 30% off if you use the code word Dr Boyce Special. One word, Dr Boyce Special. Also, we even have a payment plan on the bootcamp now for those who can't afford it. So feel free to jump in. I hope you'll jump in. There's a money back guarantee. It's the best class you ever take. And what we talk about is building. When I left academia, I said, you know what? Fuck these people. Fuck this racism. I'm not going to let you treat me like a little boy. I'm not going to let you do this to me anymore. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to build something of my own. It may not be nothing compared to what you got. It's going to look stupid compared to what you got. Because sometimes I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. But faith kind of kept me going. You know, I really believe that if you will yourself to whatever it is you want in your life, you will find a way to get it. You just have to have enough faith to say, I will myself to this. Every day I get up, I'm going to think about how to do this better, and I'm going to push and push and push, and then nature will take its course, and you will grow into whatever it is you need to become. You're not going to be there when you first get started. So I wasn't there. I didn't have enough money. I didn't have enough know-how. I was a little nervous. I was like, man, what if I fail and it fall on my face and I embarrass myself? But I just kept going, you know, and I hit a point of no return where I couldn't go backward. So then at that point, you ain't got no choice but to go hard. And so now, you know, we have spaces that we've created where I'm training lots of black people on how to build companies and how to have their own stuff. And everything that I live is what I teach. That's why I teach it so fluidly, is because this is me. This ain't me teaching something that someone else taught me. This is me teaching things that not only did I teach myself, but these are things that live within the DNA of who I am as a human being. Because I truly believe for black people, that's what we need. Let's go back. Let's keep talking about the Donna Brazile thing. Okay, so I mentioned, so yeah, Donna Brazile, you know, with this situation with CNN, what's probably going to happen, I'm guessing, I would not be surprised if Donna falls back into the black community. That's what tends to happen when you have black people that go mainstream and then they bump heads or they get, you know, they get into a conflict and they get kicked out. They end up falling back to their community. So I believe that, I remember TJ Holmes, you know, fell back to BET for a while. That didn't work out because the executives of BET unfortunately are just a little stupid, because they just, you know, I think they're committed. Well, remember, BET's not a black company anyway. They just market to black. They just sell black people to corporations. They don't really they're not owned by black people. You had Mark Lamont, when Mark, you know, left Fox. Mark does a lot of stuff, but you know, now you see he's doing, you know, Love and Hip Hop on VH1 and all that. Think about it what you will. Roland Martin. You remember when Roland got into that situation with the LGBT community. Now that this is part of what led to our divide. Roland and I don't see eye to eye right now, because when he made some comments that were offensive to the LGBT community, I tried, just out of trying to be fair about it, I said, well, Roland, you know, I do think they're overreacting, but I really think you need to apologize. And I wrote this in an article, and for Roland, I guess because he's so sensitive, he took that as an insult or as an attack. And I can understand it. Maybe he felt attacked at that moment, so maybe he didn't want any of his friends to say anything, either be quiet, because a lot of his friends were quiet. I mean, you know, Roland's got a lot of powerful friends, and I was like, well, where's all these, you know, you friends with the head of the NAACP, all the coons in the Congressional Black Caucus? You friends with all these people that are doing the boule and all, whatever these little uppity Negro organizations are that I don't know nothing about? Where are they? How come they're not out here fighting for you, man? This is crazy. So anyway, but that's what they do. When your friends ain't got your back, they don't go against you. They just don't say nothing. They'll just be quiet. And so silence is an answer. Well, me being stupid, just feeling like I got to say something. I, you know, wrote that Roland should apologize. You know, I said, you're right, man, or you know, you're good at what you do, but you really need to apologize because you offended these people. And sometimes if I offend you, it's not my job to tell you that you shouldn't be offended. If you're offended, I should listen to you and understand why you're offended, right? Any man understands that. Just if you're a man dealing with a woman, sometimes I tell my son now, I say, man, sometimes she gonna be mad and hurt, and you need to listen and try to understand why. And if you don't understand why, just accept it and respect it, because you may not ever get it, but you're not gonna win by fighting. So anyway, that's what I said. So Roland, you know, I guess considered that to be a betrayal or something. And so, because he sent me like literally hundreds and hundreds of words of text messages and angry messages like, hey, Boyce, I don't know how a man can text that much. I'd never seen that in my life. He literally sent entire dissertations via text message when I was in London that year. And we ain't really been cool ever since. But I don't have a problem with that. But I think that he has some sort of issue. But anyway, when Roland dealt with CNN, when CNN booted Roland out, he won't say he got fired. He'll say he resigned, but I honestly believe he was not invited back. His contract was not renewed. He fell back into the black community too. And so you see Melissa Harris Perry. She got into her little clash with MSNBC. That's the third example, or maybe it's the fourth. I don't know. She got into her clash with MSNBC. Of course, MSNBC won, and then they booted her out. she's fallen back into the black community. I think I want to say she took a deal with BET, if I'm not mistaken. So what you tend to kind of see, here's what's interesting about this, and this is what I'm saying, why I'm bringing up this dynamic. You'll see mainstream black people who, number one, they make the mistake of presuming that being close to power means you actually have power. Like, you'll get attached to something that's not yours. Like, you're babysitting master's children, and you really think that those children are yours. So when you and the parent, the real parent of that thing you're babysitting, that job you're babysitting, when you and the real parent have a conflict, then you end up losing. But you're like, no, but I love the baby and I know what's best for the baby. They're like, no, but you're not the parent. That's not yours. That job is not yours. And so a lot of times you'll see these conflicts occur because, we'll go out there and we'll take all the little trinkets and all the extra money, but we don't understand that in many cases that there's an itchy trigger finger, in the sense that you're going to get fired for things white people probably wouldn't be fired for. You're going to get fired for things that black people wouldn't be offended by, but white people may be offended by. So, for example, if I went on here and I said, man, I hate dogs. Like, or let's say somebody killed a dog on TV, and I said, don't get me wrong, I would never say this, but let's say I said, man, who cares? They shot a dog. Okay, let's move on to the next story, right? Let's say I said something like that, right? Now, some people who are dog lovers, obviously in the black community, would be pissed off by that, but the black community would not banish me because I said I don't like dogs, right? But white people really love their dogs. They treat their dogs like they're their children. So white people literally look at the life of a dog, or sometimes even a gorilla, as being more valuable than the life of a human being. So white people will get mad. They'll pile up their resources, stack up their money, their petitions, their little connections, and they will have your ass out of town in a minute. They will bump your ass out before you can say, I'm sorry, right? So, or have you on TV apologizing like you're a little boy. That's another thing they'll do. They do that to black men a lot, especially athletes. They'll have these brothers out here apologizing and begging for forgiveness, and black people will be watching it like, well, what did he do wrong? Like, we forgive you, we don't care. But white people, as long as they're mad, you're not getting that job back. And the thing is, that's interesting, is that many of us, I think a community is quite vulnerable when your most powerful members of that community are slaves to somebody else. I mean, let's think about that for a minute. That was just a thought that just literally came to me, and I want y'all to process that for a minute. We live in a community where our kings and our queens are somebody else's fucking slaves. They're high-paid hoes for somebody else. Most of your favorite celebrities, most of your favorite athletes, most of the black people that you just love and admire, even your damn president, is a slave to white power interests. So I think, let's see here. Somebody says, I can't believe you people believe this guy. I don't know. Twitter's funny. Twitter brings in all the trolls. Like, I don't know where. It's weird how people just randomly end up on the page. But anyway, I don't know why. I don't know why they listen to me either. I don't know why you listen. I find it funny that you would hate me and then like be just hanging out on my page. But anyway, the point of the matter is that I think that if you're talking about true black power, you gotta think about what black power is. What is black power? I mean, if I'm borrowing power from somebody else, is that real power? No, it's not. Think about it like money. What if I had no money and I say, I want some financial power. I want money. Loan me $200. Have I really increased my economic power when I borrow $200 from you? A little bit. Now, just to be fair, a little bit. Now, let me explain. Access to capital does have value if you know what to do with it. Like, so for example, if you gave me a choice, here, let me give you an example. This is me putting on my finance professor hat. In case y'all don't know, and the trolls should know this since the trolls just came in. I have a PhD in finance. I've been teaching college students since I was 22 years old. So I'm smarter than you, which is why I'm not threatened by you. Now, here's the thing. If you gave me a choice, if you said, Boyce, we're going to give you two options. We're either going to give you LeBron James's salary for a whole year, or we're going to let you control Bill Gates' money for 6 months, but you have to give it back. But you get to control it. You get to use it for whatever you want. You get to make investments, but you have to give back the amount that you're given. If he gives you $50 billion, you have to give the $50 billion back. Which choice do you think I would pick? I would pick option B. I wouldn't want LeBron James' salary, because do you know how much money I could make off of $50 billion in capital in 6 months? Because that's the thing. A lot of y'all never were really taught that money is not something that you spend. Money is something that is used to make more money. Money is capital. Capital is used to generate more money, the same way a delivery truck is used to make deliveries and make money. Let me see, 50 billion. Let me see. I can't even put 50 billion in my calculator. Let's say he was getting like 5% interest or something crazy like that. I'm really curious as to how much money. Yeah, like literally, he would make over $1.3 billion in 6 months just by sitting on the money, just by putting the money in a low risk investment. He would make $1.2 billion in 6 months. So literally, you can make more money. You can make more money by holding Bill Gates' wealth for 6 months than you could make by controlling all LeBron James's income for his entire life. Just holding the money has value. So there is some power in borrowing somebody else's power, because you get to use it, just like renting somebody's car. You do have some power by getting to use their car, but at the same time, it ain't your car. You understand? So when it comes to true power runs deeper than that. True power runs deeper than just sort of being able to do things with somebody else's permission. True power means you get to make fundamental decisions, and you can't be vetoed in those decisions, right? So true power would mean if I had my own car, then I could decide if I want to sell it. I could decide if I want to paint it. I could decide, what I want to do in terms of maintenance or what sort of upgrades I want to do in the car. I could decide who's going to drive it. I get to make all those decisions. But if I'm simply selected to drive somebody else's car, I don't get to pick who else is going to drive it. I don't get to decide the paint. I don't get to decide when it's going to be sold. Somebody can sell it right from under me and then boot me out, and there's nothing I can do about it. So that's the difference between having a platform that's given to you versus having a platform that belongs to you. Never mistake being close to power to mean that you have true power. So when we talk about black power, and I just wrote a book called The New Black Power, by the way, I might as well mention it. It's at thenewblackpower.com if you're interested in taking a look, thenewblackpower.com. If you really want to talk about black power, you got to really think about it in terms of it running deep, because what happens is over and over again is you will see, and this is where how structural racism works. You will see many cases where the white guy, the black guy, so he supposedly thinks he's rising up because he's working next to the white guy, the white powerful corporation. Because remember, black people get excited about shiny shit, and white people have all the shiny shit. So you got the nice job, the high paying job, all the power. You got access to all the tools that their community built over many generations, because they were stealing from your community. And so you get there and you get comfortable and you start to feel like you belong. You start to believe racism doesn't exist anymore, because maybe the white people you work with aren't racist. Maybe they really are fundamentally good people. But what's going to eventually happen in many cases is you're going to bump heads. Boom. Now, when you bump heads, two things are going to happen when in a power struggle. Number one, you're going to have a battle of strength. So he's got a huge base. He owns the company. He's got other powerful white people behind him. He's going to be able to protect himself. If you were white, even if you were working for him, you might have a similar base too. Because if you're a white guy, maybe if you need lawyers, you can afford lawyers. Maybe if you need powerful friends, you're more likely to have powerful friends, etc. Typically, when you're black, you're isolated. You're surrounded. You're pulled away from your community. Your community done gave up on you in many cases because you out there thinking that you ain't black no more or whatever. And on top of that, black folks ain't got no money to be paying for your lawyers and all this other stuff. We don't control, political offices as much as we should. We don't run major corporations and things like that. Or in many cases, even when we are in office, usually somebody else pays our way. So it's not really something that we've created ourselves. It's something that somebody else owns. So at the end of the day, you have that power struggle. Your black ass loses. You lose, you get flicked out. And what's interesting too is that you're likely to get flicked out for something that a white person in the same position might not be flicked out for, because you might have been an awkward fit to begin with. And so in many cases, so when I look at the Donna Brazile situation, here's what I see. I see a case where most of us as black people, I think, who know Donna Brazile still have some respect and admiration for Donna Brazile. Most of us wouldn't be deeply offended if Donna Brazile's on TV next week giving us political analysis, because the fact that she shared the information, the debate questions with Hillary's people, that doesn't, I mean, a lot of black folks I know, we really are like, okay, well, don't do it no more, Donna. That wasn't cool. But we still know that she knows what she's talking about. White folks, on the other hand, have a different set of values. They have a different set of interests they're trying to protect. CNN's trying to protect their name. They don't want to be seen as a corrupt news organization. And in journalism, your integrity is extremely important. I mean, you want to be a trusted source. So to have this idea that somebody affiliated with CNN was smuggling debate questions to the Hillary Clinton campaign just completely annihilates the journalistic integrity that they would almost damn near give their lives to protect. So, but what's ironic about it, though, is that so many of these news organizations, they have no journalistic integrity anymore anyway. Fox News, I mean, really? Fox News, seriously, you really think that they have true journalistic integrity? No, they don't. MSNBC, no. They're stool pigeons for the White House. So CNN, to me, it seems, is trying to maintain that Washington Post neutrality. You know, like, we're the Post, we're the New York Times, we're going to just report the facts as we see them, and we're going to verify all the stories. And they're very thorough on these things. But, you know, in this particular situation, you know, they get caught with their pants down. So what their first reaction is, okay, get her out of here, right? So I personally think that as black people, I think that we, you know, when you're talking about sort of preparing your own career and you're thinking about your next move, and you're thinking about what you're going to teach your kids, about what it means to be successful, the first thing I would definitely not teach my children anymore is that assimilation is the same as success. A lot of times we think that we're being rewarded for being the best at what we do, when the fact is that you're only being rewarded because you've successfully assimilated, and these white racist institutions have accepted you because you are a fit to their white supremacist structure and agenda and approach to the world, right? And the white supremacy is very, very real. I mean, these institutions, I'm not going to say they have malintent or negligent intent, that they're trying to be harmful, but the fact of the matter is that, you know, structural racism is very, very real, you know, and so sometimes it's more of a badge of honor to be kicked out of these systems than it is to actually be accepted by these systems. You know, it's sometimes more of a badge of honor to be rejected than to be rewarded. I mean, think about it. Imagine if a murderer, rapist, child molester says, you know, oh, he's a great person. He's a great guy. I know him really well, and I just love him to death. He really, he's a stand-up guy, and we do all kinds of stuff together. And I mean, you wouldn't sort of accept that. You wouldn't want a rapist, murdering child molester to tell you that they're your best buddy and that you're a good guy and that they like you. That's an endorsement that you would probably reject. Well, when you are in a white supremacist, white American capitalist organization and you're being constantly rewarded, constantly compensated, it doesn't make you a bad person, but you got to understand what you're signing up for, and you got to understand why this system's rewarding you. You know, just like being a cop. I mean, you know, what does it really mean if a cop is being promoted consistently because they're a great cop, because the other cops love them and they fit so well in the system? Would you look at that person as a person of integrity, or would you say, this is kind of interesting that this system is rewarding you so regularly? You look at Barack Obama. I was skeptical of the fact that Barack literally skyrocketed through Chicago politics, which is about the most corrupt political system in the country. Chicago politics is insanely corrupt. So when that system signs off on you so fast, that right there is a red flag to me. That right there makes me say, whoa, what the hell are you doing? You know, who the hell are you sleeping with to get ahead? I mean, seriously. So my point of view, my 2 cents on the whole situation is just to say that, you know, I encourage you to just find out who you're supposed to be and not look for systems to validate you. It doesn't mean you have to reject all systems all the time. I mean, don't just run around being an asshole and just raising hell for the hell of it. But don't be scared to stand up for what you believe in. You know, so when I think about Donna, I immediately thought about Roland, Mark, and Melissa Harris Perry and their ordeals and how they were just kind of similar. I do think, though, in this case with Donna, I think Donna was wrong. I love Donna. I like Donna. I mean, when I say I like Donna, I mean it. I don't know Donna personally. I know a lot of people that know her, and a lot of people say very good things about her on a personal level. So I can tell you that my personal interactions with people when it comes to Donna have been that she's a good person and that she's an honorable person. But this was not, if this did occur this way, it wasn't an honorable act. It certainly violated some rules, maybe violated some laws. And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I think she's going to land on her feet, though. But I do think that when you get to playing ball with these crazy Democrats, I mean, corruption breeds corruption. And so when you have one corrupt force going up against another, it just gets real interesting, real ugly. So I'm really curious to see how the Democratic Party deals with her, and I think that's another interesting thought for black folks. You pledge allegiance to this Democratic Party, whoever the hell you playing, you're honoring, or that you are loyal to. They will boot you out in a minute, and I'm wondering with Donna, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, so you've dedicated your whole life to the Democratic Party. You've got a lot of pull in that party. Are they really going to stand by you, in your time of need? I don't think they will. Because I think that they're probably going to conclude that the interests of the party exceed the interests of Donna Brazile. I don't think it'll be a personal thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if they too distance themselves from Donna in some way or throw her under the bus. So don't be surprised if the situation gets worse. And I feel bad for her. But again, if you want to know why I avoid those sorts of affiliations, is because when the shit hits the fan, everybody's going out for self, and they will drop your black ass in a minute. The only people that really got you in this world, in my opinion, are the people that love you from day one. I am clear in my distinction between the people that love me from day one and the people who jumped on the bandwagon later on. Those day one people are the ones you need. So you got to always show respect to those people. And I bet you Donna has done that, because I've heard nothing but good things about her. I can't say the same about Roland. Roland irritated me a little bit sometimes. He's a little bit crabby. And a little too much of a diva, but he's good at what he does. So Roland actually covers stories that nobody else covers. And that's why I respect Roland as a journalist. I think that you need a Roland Martin out here really doing the news the way he does it. Okay, so if you want to know more about our programs, we have a class, Black Money 101. If you want to be introduced to wealth building and how it works, you can go to blackmoney101.com. Also, if you want to learn about my other classes and programs, take a stop by blackfinancialliteracy.com. That's blackfinancialliteracy.com. It is my quest to go throughout the world and to do everything I can in my power to encourage as many millions of black people as possible to understand how money and wealth plays a part in controlling every aspect of our lives, every aspect of the future of our community, and to plant as many seeds as possible. So that is what I'm obsessed with. So please feel free to go to blackfinancialliteracy.com. I've got a ton of programs, a ton of information, a ton of everything. I hope that'll be your one-stop shop, because you'll get more there than you'll ever get from any sort of college degree and all this other stuff, because I'm teaching you what you really need to know. So I'm about to get out of here, guys. My manager reached out to me. I got to go have a meeting, but it was good talking to you.